Hello, everybody. I know I have not posted a video in a while, but as I said before, I can really only post when the Lord leads me to post something. And I'm not really like a social media person. I'm the type of person that will walk up to you and start talking to you. So, this is a little out of my comfort zone, but hey, the Lord is stretching us all past our own limitations that we place upon ourselves, and He's just calling us to do new things this season. But God wanted me to pretty much get on here and be transparent about, what I've been experiencing over the past couple of weeks and, the things that He's told me. And I have to be honest, I did get to a point over the past few days where I guess I could say I was upset with God. I was upset with Him. Now, it wasn't and I'm upset with God, like I'm about to just do things my own way. I'm going to do something else that He did not tell me to do. I'm going to step out and just go before Him. No, it was kind of like, God, you did tell me this was going to happen. You didn't tell me we was going to take that detour. You didn't tell me it would take this long. And I don't even want to pray about my situation no more, God. So I'm gonna just start praying for other people because you seem to answer prayers for other people almost immediately, and I just don't even want to think about my promises anymore. I'm just gonna give them all back to you because I didn't ask for them. You promised them. I know that you'll fulfill them in your timing. So in the meantime, I'm gonna focus my thoughts and my energy on praying for other people. So, that's kind of how I was. Like, God would just drop something in my spirit concerning my promise, and I wouldn't, I'm not bold enough to say it to God, but I kind of was thinking like, yeah, right, but when is it gonna happen? Like, I believe you, God, but I don't see it yet. I'ma still keep having faith. But I kind of like adapted this mindset of God gonna do what He want to do when He want to do it. I believe Him. I'm not saying God's a liar. I know He's gonna do it, but I just got to a place where I got tired of expecting something to happen by my set timeline, and it did not happen. God didn't say He was going to do it tomorrow, but I wake up thinking, oh, it's going to happen today. And then when it doesn't, I get discouraged, or I just feel like, dang, like I feel like a fool. I believe for nothing. So that was happening over and over to the point where I just got to the point where I was just like I said, I don't even want to think about my promises. Like, I'm just going to focus on everything else except what God told me about me. Like, I don't even want to think about myself no more. And, I've been scrolling through YouTube, and I just didn't even want to hear any more prophetic words because I'm just like, okay, God, like you've been saying since last year that the time is now, that you're going to do this and that. So it was kind of like, oh, I've already heard this before. So I don't even want to keep hearing the same thing again, getting my hopes up, being let down. So I just stopped, really watching anything on YouTube, any YouTube ministries. And it was just like, I'll pray, just read the word, like, hey, God, you're going to do it whenever you do it. But I don't want to hear nobody else telling me that you're saying this now because you haven't really told me in a while that it's like here. But glory to God. Like, last night, the Lord really said, like, no, now is the time. And He really wants us to let go of the fear of believing Him that now is the time. And, God was just speaking so clear. And it was kind of like a sign of relief because I'm like, oh, like, all right, God, I am still hearing from you. You haven't said nothing in a minute, but okay, good. Like, all right, I'm not tripping. I'm still on the right page. Like, I know there's some warfare going on, and I know you working, but God, I ain't gonna press you no more. I don't got it in me. Like, I'm barely holding on, God. And I just felt His presence. He was just comforting me in so many different ways and just like reassuring me, like, no, like it's no more prepare. Like, we need to wake up again every day expecting today is going to be the day that I'm going to see my promise. If God promised you marriage, today is going to be the day that my wife calls me. Today is going to be the day that my husband comes back walking through that door. Like, He wants us to stay in that place of expectancy. And it's easy to say that, oh, I'm just expecting God, but like I said, like, let's be real, like it does get discouraging when you're like, having that feeling every day, you don't see any sign of the promise, but that's, where your faith comes in. You know that God, his word will never return void. He's not a God that he should lie. And he pronounced it to you. He declared those promises. You didn't make them up on your own. Like, God spoke it to you. So you have to know that he's going to fulfill it. But what he is saying now is, guys, like, it's really here. Like, now is the time. It's no more. It's on its way. Like, it's literally here. So the Lord really just wants us to use this time in waiting to prepare. Example, if God is telling you to write a book, have you, read about different writing techniques? Have you took a writer's class? Or, just whatever God is telling you to do, he wants us to prepare to perfect, our gifts, our crafts, whatever he's calling you to do. Read up, research up on it. See how others may have failed before you. Like, yeah, we're not going to fail because we got God. But just, he really emphasized that it's not going to be easy. Just because God gave you a promise and he's going to open the door for you, we still ourselves have to not only walk through that door, but we have to, act out and fulfill the purpose and the promise. God's not going to do that for us. So like I said, I don't mind throwing myself under the bus all the time. I know I personally thought, like, oh, okay, like, yeah, God promised this big thing. Like, woo, I'm going to just skate on through. Like, hey, it's going to be easy. And it's not. Like, it's not. Like, I'm just like, oh, my Lord, God, like, you're with me, but this is still a lot of work. And, that's kind of also something else he wanted me to just share. Like, just because God gave you a promise, he's going to fulfill it. He's going to open the door, but don't think like it stops there. Like, there's still life after the promise. There's still more things you're going to have to do, because now you're promoted. Now he's elevating you even more. So now you got to seek God even more. We can't go into this new season and this new era really with the same mindsets, the same way of thinking, the same way of just doing anything that we've done before in the past. Like, God is saying no, like, this is all new, like, and we have to do our part in just really transforming our mind and our perspectives on just everything new now, because the Lord is really stressing that he's not gonna open those doors or put us in position until he knows that we have completely died to our old selves. Like, we've completely died to our old perspectives. He doesn't expect us to be perfect, but we cannot take this new, we can't go into the new with the old. And God, I didn't even want to share this, but here I go, throwing myself under the bus again. There was something that I slipped back into, and it wasn't like it was like temptation. It was just like, well, this just, I'm gonna kill time. Like, I'm waiting on God, but I ain't got nothing else to do type thing. Like, why not? I know I'm in control. And, the Lord let me do whatever I did. And he instantly, like, in that moment, instantly was like, oh, girl, you thought you was finna, slide back into your old thing. No, ma'am. Like, God made it so clear that we cannot even mess up what he's about to do in our lives. Like, we are so tightly in God's hand that he's not even letting like nothing distract us. And it was so funny to me because I had made these plans with other people, and I was laughing because I knew that it was God who like shut them plans down. Like, he pretty much is like, I got something else for you planned. You're not finna fall back into your old habits or old way of doing things. So if I gotta cancel everybody plans, nobody gonna do nothing because of you. So I just thought that was really funny because I'm like, wow, like, God, like, who are we as humans? Like, you're our God, you're our Father. Like, we don't even deserve this type of love and grace and mercy, to the fact that like God knew that, we're liable to fall, we're liable to mess up, but he's saying like, you're not even going to mess this up. Like, your life is not your own. This is not about you. I've invested in you. I've called you. I'm going to finish that work I started in you. So we may think that, God's going to let us do our own thing. Yeah, we have our free will, but God knows our hearts. So he knows when we're weary. He knows when we're getting discouraged. So if you fall in anything, pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, keep it going, because I'm telling y'all, like, God, he ain't even finna let us stay down. Like, I wanted to just mope and condemn myself. Like, oh God, I knew and he literally was like, yep, you did it. I forgive you. Like, come on, like, let's go. Like, you're not staying here. You got other things you need to be doing. Like, you're not about to go back to what I delivered you out of. And like I said, like, he's just, man, like, he's just God. He's just God, because it didn't go the way I expected. Like, I really thought I was going to be beating myself up, and I felt so bad, and I really thought it might have been like a reoccurring issue, and it was just like, no, like, it was like him, like, get your head back in the game, like, let's keep going. And that's, what it was. So that's another thing that the Lord wants us to be mindful of, that Satan's tactic right now is to get us to go back to our past. And that could be your old way of thinking, being involved with people that that the Lord cut out of your life. Example, it's holiday season. What do our exes like to do? They like to send them text messages. How long you in town for? Pull up. I miss you. All this stuff. Don't fall for it. It's a trap. It's the enemy. And, Satan is trying to taint our perspective right now of how bad things really were. Like, well, maybe, this person changed, or maybe I can just smoke this pack of cigarettes. I'm not addicted anymore. I don't smoke anymore. I haven't smoked in months. But, just whatever. Like, he's going to try to downplay what God delivered you out of because you haven't done it in so long, or just because that you don't struggle with those sins anymore. So you kind of feel like, well, I'm in control. This is just a one-time thing, which is kind of like premeditated sin, which we should not do. But it's just like, that's his strategy. Like, he wants to get us with something like so small. He wants to start small just by like tainting our perspective of the past. Like, it really was that bad, but Satan's going to make you think now, because, you're closer to God, or he knows that you don't really, really struggle with it anymore. So he's gonna just like throw the little hint, like, oh, you can go do that, and you'll be thinking like, well, no, don't fall for it. But again, even if you do, just repent and know, like, God's grace, his mercy is sufficient. Like, he's not a God that he's trying to just like beat us down for falling. Like, he knows, like, he knows our heart, and that's really what, that's all that matters. Your heart. Where's your heart when you're doing it? Like, what are your motives in doing the things that you're doing? So, just keep that in mind, that none of us are perfect. And hey, if you fall in anything, pick yourself right back up. Don't stay down too long. That's what Satan wants. He wants to interfere with your prayer life. He wants you to feel unworthy to even go back to God, to pray and to repent, because you know better. Don't even entertain those thoughts. Don't even give him that time. No, just dust yourself off. Keep it moving. So yeah, I actually had like a lot of notes, but it's kind of all pretty much the same thing. Just like, that God is saying that now is the time. Prepare for whatever he told you to do. And by prepare, that means that you're going to have to do some things. The Lord is not just going to do everything for us. If he has called you to open up a restaurant, a chef, are you looking up recipes? Are you practicing? He's telling you that he's about to send you your husband. Have you been studying what the word speaks about marriage? We have to do more than just like be sitting here praying, waiting on God. Like, there's things that the Lord is going to instruct you and tell you that you need to do to prepare. And this is why, and it's critical right now in this time, to just really be aligned in position and focus in God, because he's going to tell you those strategies of what you need to do to get to the next step, where to go, whatever it is for him to, take you to the promised land. There's going to be something that we have to do. It's not just poof, poof, it's here. Like, it's going to take some work on our end. And like I said, I wasn't thinking that. I was just thinking like, oh, okay, well, God said this. It's just going to pop up. Like, it's going to be an open door like that. It's going to happen suddenly, unexpected, but there's going to be a lot of work on our end that's also required. So just remember that, God is with you. You can't fail. But it's going to be some work that's going to be required on your end. He's going to stretch you past your limits. And just know that, our Father is a good God. He's with you, and you cannot fail. So I hope that this was some form of encouragement for somebody. Like I said, I don't even be knowing who I be posting these videos for. But hey, until next time.